Okay, so for this assignment, are y'all ready? Because I'm ready to teach. So for this assignment, you're going to do the whole thing because you have the whole class period. So when it's easy and it's in y equals mx plus b form, the number attached to the x is the, do you write the x with it? No. The number here is the y-intercept. So let's look at number 2. Is this in y equals mx plus b form? Kind of, but it's really not because these two are switched around. But can you see it, or do you need to switch it? You can see it. This is clearly the slope. So the slope is -4, and this is the y-intercept, which is, if you needed to rearrange it, you would simply go y is equal to -4x plus 10. But, I mean, I don't expect you to have to do that. You should be able to see it. All right, go down to number 5. Is it in y equals mx plus b form, or is it in standard form? So what is your first job? I need to rearrange it by moving the 6x to this side. Would I do it by adding or subtracting? Okay, I heard 2 different answers. How would I get rid of a positive 6x? Okay, so I have -2y is equal to -6x plus 2. If you need to show your work on a separate sheet of paper, then that's definitely an option for you. I'm going to divide everything by -2. So I have -6 divided by -2, which is positive 3x plus, what's 2 divided by -2? All right, so my slope is, which one's in the slope spot? 3. What's my y-intercept? -1. Does everybody understand how to do this part? If there is no plus b, then the b is 0. All right, at the bottom, you're going to match the equation with its graph. But can you match it looking like this? Unless you want to solve for the intercepts. Remember how I taught y'all that a few days ago? You could go solve for the intercepts, but that's not what I'm teaching you in this lesson. Or you can rearrange these and figure out which graph is which based off of slope and y-intercept. Yes? Okay, flip to the back. This wants you to graph the equation. What does it also want you to do? Give the m and the b. So let's do one together. Let's do 16. So what's the slope? -7 over, what's the y-intercept? So I go to the 2 on the y-axis. Now I need to rise 7. I either need to go up or down. Can I go up? Is there room for me to go up? So I'm going to leave the negative with the 7. I'm going to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't really fit. So I'm just going to go down one more 7, right 1. Because that's the best I can do on this graph. You need at least 2 dots. So if one doesn't fit, then you've got it at least in your graph. Is everybody good on that part? Does everybody understand that when you rise, it's either up or down? Up is positive, down is? When you run, it's either right or left. Right is positive, left is negative. If you have a positive slope, you will either rise up and run right, or you can do what? You can go down and left, because 2 negatives make a, if I have a negative slope, I can either go up and left, because this is a positive and a negative, or I can go down and what? Right. Those are your options. right? Everybody good with 16 through 21? On 22 and 23, it wants you to decide which lines are parallel. Do not just assume, because you can see. And then do y'all see that the lines are they labeled? Let's see. Let's label them. We'll call this one A, this one B, this one C. And do the same thing over here. This one's A, this one's B, this one's C. How do you know if they're parallel? Parallel lines have the what? The same slope. If you feel like you can tell just because, then that's fine. If you need to find the slope, that's fine. So you would write, I'm not going to give you all the answer, but let's say Z and T were parallel. I would write, and I'm just making something up right now, I would write my answer like this. Hold on. So if it's Z is parallel to T, you don't have to write it out. That means parallel. When you put two lines like this, that means parallel. Okay? Or you could write Z is parallel to T. Okay? Okay, flip to the back. Again, tell whether the graphs of the two equations are parallel. So let's do 24 together. This equation has a slope of, does this one also have a slope of 8? Yes. Really? Is this in y equals mx plus b form? I have to move this by doing what? So I actually have y equals negative 8x plus 3. This one has a slope of negative 8. Are those the same slope? So this one is not parallel. The answer is no. Their slopes have to be the, and you don't know that until you rearrange them. Then number 30, it looks like they give you an equation right here. So what does A say to do? So your rise is 15, your run is 1, your starting point is 30. Could you use your y equals button? Absolutely. Then B is wanting you to answer a question that says, suppose the company raises its fee to $18. That means the equation has now changed and they even gave it to you. This is the equation and they want you to do what to it? And then C says, how much more does it cost for the company to trap 4 squirrels? You can either plug 4 in for S and then just subtract. If the graph is good, you could use the graph. It's up to you. All right, get busy.